It has been a historic year for the WNBA. You know the Drake line, I'm the rookie and the vet. Let's start with the rookie, Caitlyn Clark Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, fever. Caitlyn Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record Friday against the Aces. And then in the third quarter, look at that step back. And that gave her a three more, which now passes Simone Augustus for the most points as a rookie in WNBA history. But it was a close one, especially in the fourth quarter. Watch this, Caitlyn, that's two. She does two as well. Indiana up 4. Now a few minutes later, Fever again up 2. Another step back 3. Now less than a minute later, I mean, how many times am I gonna say this? 4-3. Caitlyn Clark scored 11 points in a 3-minute span in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Wings 11-2 in that span. Now 2.5 to play, Wings down 3. There's a turnover by Caitlyn Clark. Natasha Howard, she just goes so fast in transition, like the blink of an eye. Wings within 1. But a minute and a half to play, Indiana up 2. Clark finds Demirs Dantas for the corner 3. That will do it. Clark finished with 35 points and 8 assists. Kelsey Mitchell, to not be ignored, 30 points. The Fever win 110-109. Now, with her 35 points, Caitlyn Clark broke Simone Augustus' rookie scoring record on a night where the Fever scored 110 points in their win, which ties a franchise record. And Indy has now won 20 games, their most in a season since 2015. With one more win, though, they would have their most since 2012. Let's welcome to WNBA Today. The party is already starting with the W based off of the weekend. Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. I'm Chiney Ogwumike in for Malika Andrews. Now, Rebecca, Caitlyn has dominated since the All-Star break. What's been the biggest change in her game that you've noticed?
Chiney, it took her about a month to figure things out, but since about the end of June, she's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her. The game has slowed down for her, even though
it looks like we may have lost Rebecca Lobo for a moment as we're trying to effort her sound. But let's bring in my big bro, Kendrick Perkins, because I know you've been tuned into all of these amazing games. Hey, Perk, what have you enjoyed so far from Caitlyn Clark's season, especially as she continues to make history?
Well, look, right now, she's very comfortable, very, very comfortable. And you know what that is? Kudos to her, because that means not only has she been putting in the work behind the scenes, but that means she's been a student of the game and in the film room. When you're at that position, the point guard position, and you're leading the charge, you have to figure things out. But all I was hearing was, oh, it's gonna be an adjustment for Caitlyn Clark. She's gonna have to get used to the physicality. People are gonna be going at her. And they tried it, and it didn't work. Here she is right now breaking all kind of records. Here she is right now leading her team into the postseason. Here she is right now standing on business. If I had to evaluate her season right now and give a fair evaluation, I would say she has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the hype that she had, the expectations she had to live up to, packing out arenas on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people out there waiting to see her fail, and still keeping her composure as a rookie and leading this team has been a beautiful thing to see.
It has been beautiful to see. She has exceeded all expectations. Rebecca, you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, I mean, Perk mentioned how she's learned from going into the film room, learned game from game. She equally learns within the game. On Friday, when they were playing against Vegas, she was held scoreless in the first half. What happened? She came out with some of that knowledge that she learned from that half in the previous game against Vegas and had 14 in the third quarter alone. She is just now playing at her pace, which, yes, is a very fast pace, but at the same time, the game has slowed down. We saw teams blitzing her like crazy early in the season. You can't do that anymore. She's playing today, to me, like she has the savvy of a veteran right now, even though for the first month of the season or so, she definitely had times where she looked like a rookie.
Yeah, and she is a student of the game. You can tell she soaks it all in each opportunity to play, and she just passed Simone Augustus. And I always come back to this thing that Simone, Money, told me that to be great, it takes a level of vulnerability, able to take the passes, those turnovers, to learn how to become an all-time single-season assist holder. But hey, guys, Caitlyn wasn't the only one dominating the W last night. Let's go coast to coast Coast WNBA playoff edition. Now, the Lynx took down the Liberty despite Breanna Stewart becoming the 5th player ever to record at least 25 points and 15 rebounds in a game. Now, Minnesota owns the series, but Rebecca, can the Lynx win it all this year?
I think it's fair now to consider the Minnesota Lynx the championship favorite. They've been playing the best basketball since the Olympic break, have beaten Vegas twice by double digits. We're up 26 at some point in that game yesterday.
Oh, championship favorite? Okay, but I have to do this since we'll head to Seattle, where the Storm took down the Sparks for the second time in 4 days. You know I had to do it because it's, first of all, news, but also period. My big sis, Chiney Ogwumike, led the team in scoring with 23 and moved into number 10 in the WNBA all-time in scoring. I was in the building there with Danny Glover, there with Steve Ballmer, Madam Prez balled out. Years of transition are never easy for any player, but we are so proud of you, big sis Nemkati. But arguably the biggest story from last night came in Las Vegas. Sun versus the Aces. A'ja Wilson entered the game 29 points shy of 1,000. And look at this. With that bucket, nasty crossover layup and finish. She's just counting down till she reaches that milestone. Now, late fourth quarter, Wilson is just 2 points away right here. And of course, it comes with her signature shot. Mitty. That bucket right there gives A'ja Wilson 1,000 points on the season. The first player in WNBA history to reach that milestone. Look at that. It was a beauty. And of course, her parents love it. And an emotional Wilson is just taking it all in, soaking it in, giving the heart sign to the crowd. A'ja Wilson's 29 points get her to 1,000 on the season as the Aces win 84-71. And here's the front runner for MVP right after the game.
I hope y'all know how much I love y'all, each and every last one of y'all. Y'all will never understand how much y'all mean to me, because there's days where I hate being A'ja Wilson. I hate it. But when I come into work and I see y'all smiling and I see y'all just happy, makes me who I am. And I am so grateful to have teammates like y'all, because y'all listen, I can go on. Y'all are just amazing people, and I love coming into work with y'all every single day.
I just get goosebumps watching that sound. You can feel that emotion. Rebecca, you played the WNBA, I played. Perk, you've won championships. When your leader is that selfless, when your leader is that committed, to me it speaks volumes, Rebecca.
The one thing, Chiney, I've so enjoyed this season is watching post-game press conferences and listening to her teammates consistently talk about how much they love playing with A'ja Wilson. Becky Hammon does the same thing, talks about what an incredible leader and player she is. And one thing that's really struck me about this ridiculous season that she has had is that she has not had any stretches where there's been any kind of a slump. She has not had back-to-back games this season where she shot under 40%. She has not had back-to-back games this season where she has scored less than 20. And even in the one game where you would say maybe she struggled a little bit from the field against Chicago when she was 8 for 28, she still hit the walk-off game-winning shot at the end. She has not only been great, she has been consistently great and clearly a teammate that everyone loves to play with.
Yeah, Rebecca, people want her bad games. Her bad games will still make you an all-star in professional sports. But Perk, I know we were talking earlier, and over the course of the season, your love for A'ja's game has continued to grow and grow. She is incredible. But do you think that she will go down as the greatest women's basketball player ever?
Well, I'm telling you this, she's on the verge of doing it. I tell you that much. Look, when you talk about her leadership skills and how emotional she is, she reminds me a lot of Kevin Garnett in that aspect. You go and ask any of Kevin Garnett's former teammates, they're going to tell you, we love KG, how unselfish he was, but how dominant he was when he stepped onto the floor. Right now, A'ja is dominating the WNBA like Giannis dominates the NBA. She has better skills, in my opinion, when it comes down to the midi, the jump shots and things to that nature, being able to put the ball on the floor and finish through traffic. But with the way that she's doing it and how she's doing it, you could just see on a day-to-day basis, even from her post-game interviews to when she's in the locker room, she is pouring her heart and soul into it all. And if she keep this up, I said it about a month and a half ago, and I'm gonna stand on it right now. She's on the verge to be the best to be the greatest WNBA player in the history of the game.
Look, I actually started diving into the numbers. Rebecca, you'll be familiar with this. When it comes to championships, she's already halfway to where the top of the top, with the exception of Rebecca Brunson, who has won 5. She's halfway to that. So if she wins another one, she gets 3. She's very close to 4, which Maya Moore has, that Comets crew has. And then on top of it, when it comes to MVP, she'd get 3 too. Like, it's a very rare air that she has, and she's only 28 years old. She can do a lot to really certify herself as the best basketball player the W has ever seen. Rebecca, thank you for joining us.
Monopoly on future draft picks underscores Warriors' urgency to win now. Some teams are built to win now, others are focused on the future, and then there's the Golden State Warriors, walking a fine line between both worlds. The debate over the Warriors' direction has once again taken center stage this offseason. While the team has shown a willingness to entertain trade talks for all-star caliber players, they've hesitated to fully commit when it comes to actually acquiring them. If you need further proof that Golden State must prioritize Stephen Curry and the current window for success, look no further than a recent article by ESPN's Bobby Marks. He outlines the immense draft capital held by several teams, which further highlights the Warriors' pressing need to capitalize on the present. Certain teams hold a virtual monopoly over future drafts, underscoring that the Golden State Warriors need to seize the moment. This should be particularly alarming for teams in the Western Conference. 4 teams hold control of the next 7 drafts, each with at least 12 first-round picks, and 3 of those teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder, San Antonio Spurs, and Utah Jazz, reside in the West. What's even more concerning is that both the Thunder and Spurs already have franchise superstars. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in the MVP conversation, and Victor Wembanyama is poised to join him, possibly as early as next season. Meanwhile, the Jazz boasts their own all-star in Lauri Markkanen, whom the Warriors unsuccessfully tried to acquire this offseason. Oklahoma City topped the conference last season and is a strong favorite to do so again. Once Wembanyama reaches his full potential, it would take an unthinkable catastrophe or serious mismanagement to keep the Thunder and Spurs from ruling the West by the late 2020s. While the Warriors still possess 6 of their 7 future first-round picks, they owe a top 20 protected pick to the Washington Wizards in 2030. Thanks to the Jordan Poole-Chris Paul trade, they're far from the most precarious position. But how will they compete with teams like OKC or the Spurs in a few years, when Curry is no longer at his peak? It would take incredible front office brilliance and a fair amount of luck. While Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski are immensely talented young players, they can't match the depth and talent stockpiled by OKC and San Antonio. The irony is that, to fully prioritize the current window, the Warriors would have to sacrifice their future draft capital, essentially giving another team more control over upcoming drafts. Mark's analysis serves as yet another reminder of the challenges Golden State will face in the years ahead and why it's crucial for the franchise to extract everything they can from their roster over the next season or 2.